Okay, in this example, we're given a function f of x is 1 over x plus 1, and g of x is the square root of 2 minus x. We're asked to find the domain of the difference, g minus f of x. So let me first of all write down what g minus f of x is. And let's remember that this means g of x minus f of x. And the order here is very important because g comes first. So here we have g of x, which is the square root of 2 minus x, and then minus f of x, which is a fraction, 1 over x plus 1. So that's the actual difference of the two functions. But now we're interested in the domain. So remember, domain has to do with what we can or cannot plug in. Now remember, with college algebra, we're worried about two things, fractions and roots, and we have both problems here. So let me look at the root first. Remember that with domains, on roots, we need to look at what's in here, and we need to make sure that what's in there is greater than or equal to 0. So now what I'll do is I'll just add x to both sides, and that means that 2 must be greater than or equal to x. So that's part of our domain. Everything, all x values less than or equal to 2 are okay. On the other part, we need to look at the bottom here, x plus 1, and we need to make sure that this does not equal 0. If we subtract 1 from both sides, we see that x cannot be negative 1. So here's what I've got. I've got to put these two together. Let me draw a quick number line. The first thing says that our x value must be less than 2. So here's 2, or sorry, less than or equal to 2. So it can be 2 and anything less than or equal to it. But the other part says that x cannot be negative 1. So if we come and look over here, negative 1 is over here somewhere. And we cannot be negative 1. So I'm going to have to put an open circle here. All right? So this number line represents all of the answers. So how would we write this in interval notation? The way we write it is everything to the left of negative 1, which is negative infinity, all the way up to negative 1. We do not include negative 1, so we put a parenthesis here. Then we put union. That means because we're going to have another interval. And we want everything between negative 1 and 2. So everything between negative 1 and 2. We do not want to include negative 1, so a parenthesis. We do want to include 2, so we put a bracket. So this would represent the domain of the difference of those two functions.